So have you ever found yourself just sort of instinctively scrolling past those really polished ads? Or maybe, tuning out a flashy TV commercial without even thinking about it?
Yeah, definitely. Happens all the time.
It's like we've all developed this filter, right? Almost a superpower to just dismiss the traditional brand messages.
A very effective filter
We're not just passive recipients anymore. We're actively looking for, well, genuine connections, engaging with brands quite
on
differently.
our own terms, yeah. Seeking things out.
Exactly. And it's a huge shift, really, in how we discover and validate and ultimately trust what we decide to buy. And that sets the stage perfectly for our deep dive today. The strategic world of influencer marketing. But look, we're not talking about some fleeting trend or just, internet celebrities pushing products. Not at all.
No, it's gone way beyond that.
We're going to explore why this isn't just a marketing tactic, but actually a critical business move, something that's fundamentally reshaping how companies connect with people in this really dynamic digital age.
Precisely. And the research we've looked at, it really shows that an influencer today, they're much more than just a personality online. You could call them a brand specialist, maybe a community leader, and crucially, a trusted voice. Someone who resonates deeply in that digital space.
A trust and voice, I like that.
Yeah. And they aren't just selling something, they're building a relationship, often one that's been cultivated over, maybe years. And that relational aspect, that human connection, that's probably the most valuable thing a brand can tap into right now.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive then is to really unpack why influencer marketing has become so indispensable for businesses. We'll dig into the key pillars of value it adds and then lay out a practical kind of data-driven framework to make it work. And for you listening, whether you're a professional navigating these market shifts or maybe a student trying to understand the future of commerce, especially in a place like Bangladesh, which is so vibrant, so mobile first, understanding this landscape is, well, it's vital.
Absolutely. I mean, think about the numbers for Bangladesh. You've got over 45 million active social media users, and mobile internet penetration is what, 68%?
Wow, 68%.
Yeah. So this isn't just theory, it's the daily reality.
Hmm.
A huge portion of the population is interacting online constantly, which makes those influencer connections incredibly potent for any brand that wants to connect and grow and really, thrive there.
That context makes the shift feel even more powerful, doesn't it?
It really does.
So let's talk about why influencer marketing isn't just like an optional extra anymore, but a core strategy. We mentioned how traditional ads can feel like shouting into the wind sometimes. Consumers, well, we've moved past being passive.
Yeah, correct.
We're more discerning, actively looking for authentic connections, genuine recommendations
Yep.
from people we already trust. Why do you think that trust element has become so absolutely central?
It's fascinating, isn't it? I think it really boils down to basic human psychology.
Hmm.
We seem hardwired for connection, for social proof. In a world just saturated with information, with messages coming from everywhere, an influencer offers this human-centric pathway.
Human-centric, yeah.
They shift from just, selling a product
Yeah.
to actually sharing a story, embedding a brand's message into something relatable, an authentic experience.
So it feels less like an ad.
Exactly. It's less about being told what to buy and more like being shown how something fits into a real life, a real story.
And the numbers backing this up are just, well, they're kind of staggering. Consider this. The global influencer marketing industry, back in 2014, it was maybe $1.4 billion. Pretty small, relatively speaking.
Right.
But the projection for 2025, it's expected to explode to something like $32.55 billion.
32 billion.
Yeah. That kind of exponential growth, and it doesn't just happen by accident. What do you think is really pushing that acceleration so hard?
Those numbers are certainly eye-opening. I think it's probably a mix of things. But beyond just the sheer size, research also shows that globally, something like 86% of consumers,
86%.
yeah, 86% make at least one purchase every year based on an influencer's recommendation. That's almost 9 out of 10 people.
That's huge.
And for businesses, the ROI, the return on investment, it's impressive too. We're seeing an average of about $6.50 generated for every single dollar spent on influencer marketing.
$6.50 back for every $1 in.
Okay, which often just blows traditional advertising returns out of the water. It's simply becoming a more efficient and frankly more effective way to reach people who are actually listening.
So we're seeing not just rapid growth, but real measurable impact on the bottom line.
Exactly. And it's really important to bring this back to the local context too, like you mentioned with Bangladesh. Our sources highlight that this change is particularly strong there. The local market for influencer marketing is growing at an estimated 30% annually.
30% year on year.
Yeah, that consistent, fast expansion, it's not just a blip. It signals a real fundamental shift in how brands are building trust and driving value in that specific market. It shows that brands there are really getting it, adapting to this new dynamic.
Incredible. Okay, so if we agree this is essential now, the next question has to be, how exactly do influencers build up a brand? Because it's clearly not just about a quick sale, is it?
No, not at all. It's much deeper.
Our research suggests it's more holistic, building brand equity sort of from the ground up through several key pillars. Let's tackle the first one, which seems obvious but is maybe the most complex: enhanced credibility and trust.
Absolutely. An influencer's most powerful asset, hands down, is their audience's trust. And they build this not through, slick ad campaigns, but by consistently creating authentic, relatable content over time.
Right, it takes time.
So when they do recommend a brand or a product, it doesn't land like a corporate pitch. It genuinely feels more like a suggestion from a friend or someone whose opinion you already respect. And that kind of social proof, that validation, it's just invaluable for bypassing the skepticism people naturally have towards regular ads.
That's such a key distinction, isn't it? And it makes me think of that great case study about Iceland Foods, the UK frozen food company.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Their customer approval was terrible, like 10%. So instead of throwing money at big celebrities, they did something really different. They partnered with 50 micro-influencers, including these mommy influencers, who just showed the products being used in everyday life. Normal kitchens, normal meals.
Very relatable.
Totally. And the result, their approval rating shot up to 70%.
70 from 10.
Yeah. That story just perfectly shows how authenticity can really beat pure celebrity status. It's about real people, real situations.
It's a fantastic example, and that same principle works so well in Bangladesh, too. You see brands like, say, Food Bank BD or local fashion labels working closely with food bloggers and lifestyle influencers all the time.
Like Rafsan the Chotobai.
Exactly. Someone like Rafsan, when he shares a dining experience, his followers see it as a genuine thumbs up, not just an ad. And that drives real foot traffic, gets people talking about the brand. This kind of localized trust is absolutely fundamental in a market where personal recommendations carry so much weight, both culturally and commercially.
That makes total sense. Okay, let's shift to the second pillar. Access to a targeted audience. This is where influencers really let brands get specific, right?
Mm-hmm.
Moving beyond just broadcasting to everyone and hoping for the best.
Precision targeting.
Instead, you get this incredible focus. A beauty brand works with a makeup artist, a tech company with a gadget reviewer, a restaurant with a food vlogger.
Right.
It's about talking directly to the people who are already interested in your specific niche, rather than wasting effort on a generic audience.
And this brings us to a really practical, actionable insight from the research. Don't just chase the biggest follower count.
Okay, important point.
Focus instead really intently on the engagement rate.
Yeah.
We've seen again and again that a micro-influencer, maybe someone with just a few thousand followers, but followers who are highly engaged and maybe an 8 to 10% engagement rate is pretty common for that tier in Bangladesh. They're often way more valuable than a mega influencer with millions of passive followers and like a 1% engagement rate.
So quality over quantity, essentially.
Exactly. It's about the depth of the connection, not just the sheer number of people seeing it. A highly engaged audience is far more likely to actually do something.
Right, to convert. Okay, absolutely. Which leads nicely into our third pillar, the creation of high-value content. Because influencers are fundamentally amazing content creators, aren't they?
They really are. Masters of their craft.
They know their platforms inside out, whether it's making a catchy reel, a detailed YouTube review, or telling a great story through Instagram stories. So when you partner with them, you're not just buying an endorsement, you're essentially commissioning original, often really high-quality content. Content that you can then take and repurpose across your own marketing channels, too. It's like getting a double benefit.
That dual value is a huge part of the appeal. We saw this with Kettle Plus Fire, the bone broth company. Remember that global case study?
Yeah, the Facebook ads one.
Exactly. They took influencer-generated Instagram content, authentic, good-looking photos and videos, and used it in their Facebook ad campaigns. And the result was A pretty remarkable $4 return for every $1 they spent on those ads.
4 to 1, that's significant.
It really highlights the practical benefit, right? You get the immediate endorsement to their audience, plus you build up this library of fantastic, authentic content. A long-term asset you can use to boost your own message later. It's just incredibly efficient.
So, okay, we've covered the why, the strategic importance, and the how, these pillars of value. Now let's get practical. Let's talk about a data-driven framework for actually making this successful. Because as powerful as it is, just, randomly doing one-off collaborations isn't really a strategy, is it?
No, definitely not sustainable. It needs structure.
It needs a structured, systematic approach. And the very first step is maybe surprisingly basic, but crucial.
Yeah.
Define your goals with absolute precision.
That's spot on. Before you even start thinking about which influencer to approach, you absolutely have to know what success looks like for this specific campaign. Are you trying to boost brand awareness, generate new leads, or are you laser focused on driving direct sales?
Right, because each goal changes everything.
Completely. Different goals mean different strategies, different types of influencers, and critically different metrics you need to track.
Exactly. Like for brand awareness, you'd be looking at metrics like reach, impressions, maybe brand mentions online, simple visibility stuff. But if your goal is direct sales, then you need to track things like conversion rates, customer acquisition cost, your CAC, and click-through rates, the CTR. And here's a really practical tip from the research. Using unique promo codes or specific affiliate links for each influencer, that's essential for accurately tracking where those sales or conversions came from.
Absolutely vital for attribution.
And don't forget earned media value, too, which, just quickly for anyone unfamiliar, it's basically estimating what you would have paid in traditional advertising to get that same level of exposure or conversation happening organically. It adds another layer to the ROI calculation.
Good point. Okay, so step 2, and this is arguably the make or break step. Identify the right partner, not just a popular face. This means going way beyond just looking at follower counts. You need to dig deeper to find someone who is a genuine fit for your brand. Why is that alignment so critical? Because, well, authenticity drives trust.
Precisely. And there are a few key things to look at here. First, audience demographics. Does their audience actually line up with your target customer? Are they the right age, gender, located in the right place? And thankfully, there are pretty sophisticated tools now that can help you analyze this data. You don't have to guess.
Right, use the tools.
Second, brand alignment. Does their personal brand, the style of their content, their overall values, does it genuinely resonate with your brand's identity? The partnership has to feel natural, organic, not forced or, like a weird mismatch.
Credibility killer if it's forced.
Totally. And finally, authenticity and ethics. Transparency here is just non-negotiable. You have to ensure the influencer is willing and able to make clear disclosures. Using simple things like #ad or #sponsored, it's not just about complying with guidelines, it's crucial for maintaining trust with the audience. It protects your brand and it protects their credibility too.
Absolutely critical. And that brings us neatly to the third step. Measure beyond the basics. It's so easy to get caught up in those surface-level vanity metrics, like the number of likes, but real success, that requires digging deeper into the data and asking some harder questions.
Absolutely. When we talk about measuring deeper, we mean looking at stuff like engagement quality. Don't just count the comments, actually read them. What are people saying? Is it genuine interest? Are they asking thoughtful questions? Or is it just generic stuff like great post?
Big difference.
Huge difference. Are people sharing their own experiences related to the product or asking for more details? That tells you a lot. Then, of course, return on investment, ROI. This is where the data really proves its worth. You have to measure your total campaign spend against the actual value generated.
The whole picture.
Right. Direct sales, obviously, but also factor in the value of the content they created, the earned media value we talked about from shares and mentions. Maybe even look at shifts in brand sentiment if you can measure that.
And finally, think about long-term value. Don't just measure the immediate spike after a campaign.
Good point, yeah.
Ask yourself, are the customers you acquired through this influencer partnership showing a higher repeat purchase rate? Do they have a greater lifetime value for your brand compared to customers from other channels? Those are the questions that tell you if you're building lasting relationships, not just chasing quick wins.
Really well put. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive...
Yeah, it's clear that influencer marketing, it's not some kind of magic bullet, is it?
No, definitely not.
What it is, though, fundamentally, is an investment in human connection. It's really a profound acknowledgement that in this incredibly noisy digital world we live in, where messages are just flying at us constantly, The most effective message, often, is the one delivered by a trusted human voice.
Exactly. In this age of, complex algorithms and endless scrolling, that authentic human connection just cuts through. It really does. It speaks volumes about our basic need for trust and for shared stories, isn't it?
It really does. And for brands operating in these really dynamic markets like Bangladesh, with its huge active digital population, this represents just an unparalleled opportunity, a chance to move beyond those old-school broadcast campaigns and instead actually cultivate vibrant, engaged communities around what they offer.
Building something sustainable.
Precisely. Building something that lasts.
So as you go forward from listening today, we want to leave you with a final thought, something from our research to really mull over. Ask yourself this. Are you just pushing products, or are you actively creating advocates for your brand? Are you simply broadcasting a message out there, or are you genuinely trying to spark a conversation? Because the most successful brands of tomorrow, they'll almost certainly be the ones that grasp this distinction and make the choice to invest in relationships, not just reach.